Hey Bayek, it's me Ian, and in today's video I'm continuing my look at the Alfred Hitchcock masterpiece collection. Yes, and this is Vertigo from 1958. Wow, this is just blew me away, this film, absolutely. I've never seen it. It's the first time watch, and I've just, I really am. I can see now why this is really highly acclaimed. So let's get into it. It's a psychological thriller. I think that is very much so. The word psychological is very much part of this film. It's 128 minutes long. Now, this is, to me, it's some people say that's a bit longer than, but it just sails by the time, it's just over 2 hours. It absolutely sails by. I loved it. Now, Rotten Tomatoes give it 92%, which I think is good, but at the time, the critics were rather lukewarm on this. It's taken some time for it to build up in terms of reputation. It was made at a cost of $2.5 million and made $7.3 million, which is not a massive amount, really. But it did make a profit, which is something. I think Hitchcock, but at the time, I say, lukewarm, disappointing, maybe some people felt. I don't know, but things soon changed. Anyhow, now the screenplay is by Alec Coppell and Samuel Taylor, and it's based on a 1954 novel called D'Entre les Monts. My French. And it's by Pierre Boulez and Thomas Nakrajak. I'm probably totally wrong, but yeah, I've done it now, yes. And of course, it's directed by Alfred Hitchcock. And this is important, I think, in this film. The music is once again by Bernard Herrmann, a composer. As each week goes by, I'm beginning to realize I should know more about. I should have listened to. Wow, the music here is absolutely stunning. It captures the atmosphere so much of the film. It's an important part of the film as well. The visuals with these sounds. Wow, I can't praise the music highly enough. But we've seen Bernard Herrmann. He's a great composer. He really is. I didn't know much about him, but now, wow, I'm totally embracing it. Yeah, that he's great. This film also was the first film to use a dolly zoom, so as a special effect. It sort of distorts perspective, and that, of course, creates the disorientation of the character as we're seeing it through their eyes. And this is important in this film with the vertigo effect. But that's another innovation in this film. Again, just shows you how important everything is. It was filmed between September to December 1957, and originally it was under the title From Among the Dead, but they changed that, as we know. And of course, as you can see, the main location filming is San Francisco. Wow. Uh, I mean, it just adds so much to it. It's just wonderful, the locations and the way Hitchcock films it. And what I love is the great wealth of architecture, amazing, and just the scenes, everything about it. And then of course the studio, he did his normal building in the studio, particularly of the tower, and there was some model work as well, some special effects for the stairs. The scene's quite crucial at the end. Fantastic. That so let's get into the cast. The cast, of course, is headed by the wonderful now James Stewart, who plays John or Scotty. Um, he is just great. His relationship with Hitchcock is first class. Obviously, you can see, and he just excels in these films, and you can't help but just loving him. He's so good. Um, then we've got Kim Novak, and she, of course, is just fantastic. She plays two characters. Okay, she plays Madeline, and also she plays the other character, or the same character. I don't want to give too much away. Judy, yes, but she's great. Kim Novak. I was looking at the films that she's been involved in. She was very much a theatre. She wasn't a prolific in terms of films, massive. And she did retire, of course. But she was in The Man with the Golden Arm from 1955, which is quite an interesting film. She was in Pal Joey, 1957, musical, Frank Sinatra. Actually, The Man with the Golden Arm, I think Frank Sinatra was in that as well. And then she was in Strangers When We Meet, 1960. And then a bit later in her career, she was in a British film called Tales That Witness Madness from 1973. It's a horror anthology film. Wow, yes, from World Film Services, not Amicus, as some people have mistakenly thought. But she was in that. She was in this anthology film. Wonderful. So that was from 1973. And then, right near the end of her career, before she retired, she was in an Agatha Christie film, The Mirror Cracked, 1980, which was quite a success as well. Then we've got Tom Helmore. He plays Gavin, and Tom Helmore was in The Time Machine, 1960. Wow. Yes, The Time Machine. I love that film. Who could not love that film? He did appear in Alfred Hitchcock Presents in 1958 and in seasons 3 and seasons 4. Some stories there. He's another actor who pops up in all sorts of things. And also TV. He was very much into TV as well. A lot of TV appearances. Then we've got Barbara Bell Geddes playing Midge. And she had an interesting career. She was in a film called Panic in the Streets, 1950. That seems to be sort of quite interesting. She did 4 episodes of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, so she's out under the Hitchcock name. And she was also more well known. I never watched the series, but I knew her. I knew this. Dallas. She was a big key role apparently in Dallas from 1978 to 1990, and that was a massive TV show. Massive. She was in that. So they're the sort of principal actors and actresses in this film. You're saying to yourself, get on with it. What's it about? Well, I'm not going to give too much away, because if you give too much away about the plot, it ruins it. But I'll give you the sort of a bit of a rundown. Now, Scotty, which is played by James Stewart, is a former detective who retires, but kind of haunted. And he has this fear of heights and vertigo he gets. And this all comes about after a rooftop chase, as when a fellow policeman fell off the roof, and this kind of haunts him. Then it moves on with this to meeting his friend, well, associate more. I don't know how close they are, but called Gavin, who he knows from college, going back there, and he knows about what has happened with Scotty, and he asks him to follow his wife, Madeline, claiming that, well, she's behaving strangely, and he thinks she's kind of like, it's almost as if she's haunted by some spirit or possessed by some spirit. And of course, I think Scotty is rather sort of skeptical about that as well, putting on his rational police detective bit, but he agrees then to follow her and find out what is going on, and that's what he does. But of course, as the story unfolds, he's following her around various locations and learning various clues and things about her life. In the end, he falls in love with her. He actually falls in love with her. And this comes after quite a dramatic moment in the story, where basically he saves her life, or appears to save her life, because she looks like she's committing suicide. And from that, he really, he falls deeply in love with her. And this is where the film drama really gets going and unfolds, and I'm not going to give any more away, because I think that would ruin what happens. And quite a period of time develops within the film, and it takes very interesting turns to its rather dramatic conclusion. Very dramatic conclusion. Yeah. Now, apparently they did have another film ending to this, which you can actually see in the extras. It's claimed it was put in. Some people put it in. I don't know, but it didn't make the final cut. This ending, I think, and I think I agree. Why it's nice to have this the way it does end. Yeah, definitely. It just kind of a bit follow on. Maybe it adds a little bit, but I don't think so. I think I like the sudden kind of ending that it does have. So my overall impression of this film is, why haven't I seen this before? This is a great film. I can see now. I've heard people have mentioned this before. I think it's actually better than the other ones that I've really enjoyed. I've read Rear Window. You've got to put as a classic, and I admit that is such a good film. And but this, but then I'm going to face an interesting dilemma, because I know there's some more films to come which I'm going to really enjoy. Yes. So at the moment, this is really just I'm just amazing piece of filmmaking. The way he's, to me also, it's a European kind of influenced film. going into all the psychology, the imagery that is used in the film, the colours, the use of colour and sound as well, and the cinematography, the way he's directed it and put it into this film is just outstanding. I can see why critics have raved over it, because it really is a piece of brilliant filmmaking, a masterpiece in filmmaking. I can't just praise it highly enough. I absolutely loved it. I really did. And if you've not seen it, but you probably have, but I haven't. But hey, it is fantastic piece of filmmaking. And before I go, there it is, the box set. Yes, great film, absolutely superb. And that's it. Yes. So, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We'll let you know when I put these out, these videos, and have a look at the playlists. And also, if you like this, please give it a like. It helps it get out onto YouTube and algorithms and all that business. And if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. And it all costs notes, so you can't say fairer than that, can they? Hey, Bayek. And that's it. So, all I gotta say is, I'll see thee again.